Conor McGregor is an absolute scumbag who choked this woman from behind whilst assaulting her. All she could think of was, am I ever going to get to see my children again, as she stared at the bedpost. These are the headlines that we are getting blasted with across the board here in Ireland and in the UK today regarding the Conor McGregor civil assault case that's ongoing and heading into its third day as we speak. There's live updates just coming in now covering the case from a Twitter handle, Paul Healy. Absolutely great coverage over there. I've been paying attention for the last 2 days, and what I'm going to try to do here is just give like a biased opinion. I see that we have Ariel Helwani, we've got the reporters that are sitting in the courthouse, they're giving the details of the story and they're trying to stay unbiased. Unfortunately, the public at large don't do that, so you have a really slanted point of view when it comes to this whole Conor McGregor thing. I've seen people today putting up pictures of nooses and Conor McGregor, putting up pictures of Conor McGregor and Donald Trump randomly, but that's to be expected given the timing of this case. And I think it's fair that I offer my opinion on what I've heard and seen in the last 2 or 3 days. It'll be a short little take on it. I've covered Conor McGregor's multiple allegations in other videos in the past, so I think it's only fair to maybe do a hypothetical opinion piece on what has come out in the last couple of hours. I think it's important to say before we even talk about the testimony being given today, yesterday and the day before from Mrs. Hand, that I do think Conor McGregor acted the scumbag by going to parties, taking drugs whilst you have a partner at home and a child. Absolutely disgusting behaviour. And unfortunately for Conor and his public persona, what he does on a regular basis, including pulling the hair of women, being caught entering into bathrooms with women, having numerous allegations roll in, and constantly being caught on camera without his partner with these skanky birds, does not make this case look very good for him. But in the interest of fairness and truth, I think it's only fair that we offer Mrs. Hand the exact same opinions that we offer Conor McGregor. And you can say categorically, in my opinion, that she is also a scumbag. Many people are thinking this when hearing the testimony of the last 2 days. Her partner was also home minding their child, and this lady decided to take heavy drugs, get out of her head on alcohol, and go into private hotel bedrooms with Conor McGregor and another man. So is it not fair that we offer her the same opinions that we're offering Conor online? I think it should be fair. I see people talking about how she needs to be respected. I don't know if that's very respectful behaviour to be putting out there into the public. But as you know, this is a dark cloud that hangs over our society in general. Children and girls and boys are taught depravity and this sort of behaviour is commonplace, and they're aided by politicians who push agendas and get things like abortion bills pushed through, making it even easier to go out, take drugs, get wrecked, perform all these lewd acts that you see on porn sites, and then when the ethics and morals actually kick in the next day, when the drug and the drink subsides, invariably you're going to be upset. Invariably you're going to have remorse. And because of the society that we live in now, it's not just a case of dealing with your remorse, dealing with your depraved behaviour that's promoted. So you got to blame somebody. There has to be someone to blame. And I think that when we look at this case, this is a civil case. This is about making money. This is 100% about making money for Mrs. Hand. This is not a criminal case. It didn't get anywhere near a criminal case because when evidence was produced to the police and then sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions here in Ireland, there wasn't enough evidence. And as we heard during the testimony yesterday, this lady said that there was 3 interactions between her and the DPP where they said repeatedly that we weren't going to bring this case forward because of the lack of evidence. Normally that would be the end of the story. You have to ask the question, why then? Is it because of a lack of evidence? Is it ineptitude on behalf of the people that were trying to put forward this case? And also the elephant in the room is the fact that there are so many young women who go out and act in a certain way and in the next day regret it. And their go-to coping mechanism is of course to say that they were assaulted the night before. And what happens is that the DPP, the police and everyone surrounding these type of cases have their time wasted because of the I believe her or believe every woman hashtag that trends out there every time that there is a case like this without any actual hard evidence. As I said, I don't pull any punches. When you go back and watch my old Conor McGregor videos where I do go at these allegations, there was so many of them at the time it became very confusing. I don't pull any punches, and that's what I'm going to try to do here, especially given the fact that what we heard yesterday was just so confusing, so unbelievable to be honest with you, that we have to actually question it. I've seen people questioning Mrs. Hand's testimony online, and of course people with pronouns in their bios and transsexual flags in the bio go after these people venomously. That's what you'd expect. These people are deluded and mental. When simple questions were put to people in regards to Mrs. Hand's testimony, like when she said that after the alleged assault she went to sleep, and then after waking up she jumped out of the bed and texted her partner at home who was looking after her child and told him that she was having a great time. Then jumped back into the bed, hung out for a bit, then realised people were leaving, then got up with Conor, went downstairs with Conor, another man and another woman, and then when Conor left with that woman, she allegedly went back up the stairs with this other man and proceeded to have sex 2 more times, which she says that she doesn't remember. And then she says that during this alcohol and cocaine fueled night of passion with all these people, she doesn't remember any of it. Now, I don't know what the story is with taking cocaine and falling asleep. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm pretty sure that it's not, but allegedly she was asleep. She doesn't remember any altercations or interactions with this other man. He says that it happened 2 times, but she says that she woke up a couple of hours later in a taxi. Hearing that testimony, of course, eyebrows are raised and you're looking going, wow, that doesn't really make sense. But look at the world we live in. We're not allowed to say that. We have to say, I believe this lady 100%. And I think that we have reached a place now within the echo chamber of Twitter or just like social media in general, where if we don't condemn Conor McGregor right now, we are also scumbag. I've seen people with huge accounts posting that out there in the last 12 to 24 hours. Trying to have an open discourse on this particular subject is obviously a no-go zone. Media have wall-to-wall coverage about how vicious and disgusting and depraved Conor McGregor is and how much we all respect Mrs. Hand for bringing this into the public sphere. People that are covering this story on social media are putting out the picture of the alleged victim and Conor McGregor. You have the pronoun in the bio brigade coming in, absolutely having a meltdown saying, take that picture down right now, you absolute scumbag, you're as bad as Conor McGregor. Which someone pointed out that Mrs. Hand had the option of anonymity in this case, where she could have gone forward with this case with all the same bells and whistles for a civil case, but just without her name being in the public sphere. And you have to ask yourself, given the fact that her story is starting to fall apart in the last 2 days, and even this morning, I just checked in right there, the judge seems to be pressing her even more. There's talks and conversations right now about the fear that she had on the way home to her partner who was looking after her kid. How was she going to explain that she was out for the last 12 hours in hotel rooms with numerous different guys? So the anxiety of that must have been electrifying. As we speak right now, we're hearing that there was altercations between her and her partner. Then we have the lack of evidence. Photographs were taken of the bruises, but they were deleted. So the narrative is falling apart. You're not allowed to question any of it because Conor is a scumbag and we have to condemn him. And as I said earlier, if Conor McGregor is found guilty, if we have unequivocal evidence that proves that Conor McGregor did in fact partake in all these disgusting acts as described on the front of every newspaper, then he needs to be condemned. And I think that normal people will do that. But right now, the narrative is falling apart. The story is all over the place. But I think that right now we have to have that open discourse where we can say that Conor McGregor is a scumbag who repeatedly cheats on his partner and his kids while she's at home with them. And also, Miss Hand is just as much of a scumbag because she went out there and did the exact same thing. Remember, she didn't say, I didn't want to do it because my partner was at home looking after my child and morally and ethically it was disgusting and I shouldn't have been there. She said, no, it was actually just that time of the month. So let's be fair. Let's not do what Ariel Helwani did and sit on a fence. Let's be fair. Let's call both of them out. And at the end of the day, we'll see. As testimony keeps rolling in today, I reckon there's going to be bombshells. If you want me to cover it, I'll cover it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Cheers.